All right, so number 2 is a 4 on the outside, parentheses, x plus 1 1/3, close parentheses, equals 9 2/3. Okay, y'all write that down for me. Trenton, make sure you're writing these down. And Sam, it's telling me you're on a different tab, so make sure you're writing these down as we write them, because they are quite long and you will get lost if you don't keep up with us. Okay. All right, so as we know, who remembers what is step number 1 on all of these problems with these parentheses? What's the first thing you want to do? Good, Charlie, distribute. So just write a number 1 over here and write the word distribute. And it might seem kind of silly right now to write these steps, but when you're taking your quiz by yourself and you don't have me there to ask, if you've wrote these steps out, you should be able to do them by yourself. Okay, so let's do step 1. We're going to distribute this 4 to the x and to the 1 1/3. So remember, when you're distributing, you take whatever number's outside the parentheses and multiply it by each number that's inside. So 4 times x is what? Good, 4x. Bring down this plus sign. And then to multiply 4 times 1 1/3, you can't just multiply 4 times 1 and keep 1/3, right? We're going to have to change this to an improper fraction and put this 4 over 1 to make it a fraction as well. So let's do it over here. I'm going to put a little line like this, and I'm going to write to multiply 4 times 1 1/3. You have to change 1 1/3 to an improper fraction. And put 4 over 1 to make it a fraction. Okay, so 1 1/3 is equal to 3 times 1, which is 3, plus 1 more, which is 4. And then you keep the denominator, so 4/3. Okay, so 1 1/3 is equal to 4/3, but we have to multiply 4 times 1 1/3. So 4, remember, we got to put it over 1 times 4/3. Circle that. Okay, so remember, when you're multiplying, you just multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so I'm going to make a little note to myself. Plug this in your equation. Okay, so we're going to put that 16 over 3 up here in our equation. 16 over 3. We're going to copy down anything that we didn't use. So this equals 9 2/3. Okay, and there's our new equation. All right, somebody tell me, what is step 2? What do we need to do to separate the two sides? Great job, Charlie. Draw a line over the equal sign. So we're going to go up here to our equation and draw our line. Okay, I'm going to scoop my paper up just a little bit. Now, step number 3. This is the most important one and the longest one. This is the majority of these equations. I'm going to move my paper up just for a second so we can see step 3. Let's write get x by itself by doing inverse operations. Okay. So let me move it back down. Or if you were copying that, I'll leave it right there for just a second. So step 3, get x by itself by doing inverse operations. And inverse operations just means the opposite of what is already being done. Okay. All right. Let's move this back up so we can see it. So let's find our variable, which is right here. It's this x. So our goal is to get this x by itself. And to do that, we want to start moving everything that is not the variable over to the other side. So let's start with this plus 16 over 3. What operation is happening when you see the plus sign? Very good, Charlie. It's being added right now. So in order to undo this addition and to be able to cancel out, we're going to subtract 16 thirds on both sides. Okay, just like that. And a positive 16 thirds and a negative 16 thirds will cancel each other out. So let's cross that out. And we're going to bring this 4x down because we didn't do anything with 4x. Okay, now I'm going to write step number 4. Or actually not step number 4. I'm just going to do a little like we did up at the top. To subtract 9 2/3 from 16 thirds, you have to change 9 2/3 to an improper fraction. Okay, so let's do that right here. We'll just draw a little arrow. So 9 2/3 equals 3 times 9, which is 27, plus 2 more, which is 29. So we would have 29 over, keep your denominator the same, so over 3. And then now we can subtract, right? So let's do 29 over 3 minus 16 over 3 equals 29 minus 16 is 13. Keep your denominator the same, which would be 3. Okay, and circle that. And I'm just going to put a little period. Plug this into equation. Okay, give y'all just a second to copy that. Shane, Sam, you guys copying this? See, you guys are on a different tab. Would we leave it improper or use it as a mixed number? We're going to, at the end, so Charlie, you'll see in just a second, once we plug this 13 over 3 back into our equation up there at the top, eventually we're going to have to change it back into a mixed number once we start trying to divide. Okay, y'all give me a green check when you have that completed, and we'll move on to the next step, our last step. All right, Charlie's ready. Mackenzie's ready. Trenton, Sam, Ethan, Shane, Nima, y'all give me a green check when you're finished. All right, Sam and Nima, you guys give me a green check when you're done. And that should be an R. Improper fraction. All right, Nima, are you finished copying that? All right, if not, Nima, you can go back and watch the recording to copy the rest of those down. All right, let me move my paper back up, and we're going to plug this number, this 13/3, back into our equation. All right, so let's put it right here. 13 over 3. Now, look at this 4x. Remember, our goal is to get this variable by itself. When a number and a variable are right next to each other, what operation is happening? Yes, very good. They are multiplying right now. They're being multiplied. 4x is saying the same as 4 times x. So to undo multiplication, we divide. So divide by 4 on both sides. The left side, it cancels itself out, and we bring x down. But now we have 13 over 3 divided by 4. Let's write that and see what that looks like. 13 over 3 divided by 4. How can we change this? Well, first, let's put this 4 over a 1 to make it a fraction, right? What rule can we use when we have fractions being divided to change it to a multiplication problem? Good, yes, keep, change, flip. So keep 13/3, change the division sign to multiplication, and then flip 4 over 1, and that becomes 1 over 4. So I'm going to put a little note here, use heap, change, flip rule. And then remember when you're multiplying, you just multiply the numerators. 13 times 1 is 13. 3 times 4 for the denominators is 12. Circle that. That is your answer as an improper fraction, but we want to make that a mixed number. So I'm going to put a little star right here and write change 13 over 12 to a mixed number. Who knows how to do that? How do you take a fraction and change it to a mixed number? Nope, you're not subtracting. Dividing, yes. So let's do our division tent. 12 and 13. How many times can 12 go into 13? Just once, and that would be 12. When you subtract, you get 1. So your mixed number would be 1 and 1 over 12. Okay, circle that. That would be your answer. And then so go up here where you have your x, and we're going to write 1 and 1/12, and you can circle that as well.